My name's Daron Cruickshank. I shoot for Churchcon on the Churchcon Pro Staff team, and I wanted to give some information on what I ran at the Wolverine 5K. So if you're interested in the 5K or you've ran it and you're like, man, what do the winners run? Because I won it this year. You kind of get to check it out. So if you don't know what the Wolverine 5K is, it is a adventure match. It's not like a normal 3-gun match that I'm used to. And that's why it's my favorite match of the year. I think I've ran it 6 times now. Last year we took 3rd. This year we won it. And it's been different every single time. So that being said, let's get into it. The match, you have to shoot with minimum 12 pounds of plates all day. And on the ruck orienteering portion, you have to have minimum 45 pounds in your pack, or total plates plus weight in your pack. So let's get into what I ran. If you haven't shot with plates on, they're kind of awkward. You don't get a good, a normal purchase on your shoulder. So I kind of gamed it, and I went with the smallest plates you can find that are the minimum of 12 pounds. So there's these little guys. They are the Freeman plate system. They're like way tiny. So I think, what's the normal plates, like 12 inches or something like this? I mean, I can break them out. Oh yeah, so Armored Republic Freeman. They're designed for they're level 3 steel plates. They are 12.2 pounds. So they're basically as close to that 12-pound mark as you can get. And then I just put a little, what is this? Who makes this? I don't know, fabric type of AR mag holder on the front. You really don't need those, because throughout the day, every single time, you can go back to your truck to replenish all your mags and stuff. So that's what I ran. They're tiny. They fit. Awesome shoulder purchase. Like, it's a normal. Now, would I want to be in a gunfight with this? No. I want the full. Give me all the body armor. So let's talk about the truck, and I would call it like home base or HQ, where after every stage, after the ruck, we come back, and it's a hot day. I mean, it's in June, so I get there early so I can get a good parking spot, so I can set out. I literally have a table. I have the awning, the back of the truck with all the stuff in it, ice cooler. I think that's actually pretty important. If you show up your first year and you don't come with some kind of tent slash, screen, something to hide you from the sun while you're reloading mags, or talking, to the team that you're with, like, how should we do the next stage? You're going to be in the sun all day, and you're going to eat. You're gonna dive down real fast as far as energy and stuff like that. So important to stay out of the sun as much as possible. Okay, so on top of that, this year we had, I think it was like 5 miles on the water, and then a 5K ruck back to Marksman Training Center. So from there, during the ruck, you have to go find information and plot all the spots, and basically it looks like this. And you take that information, you write it down, and it gives you words and stuff like that. You have to figure that out. Am I the guy that does that? No. I put together a kick-ass team, and there's always a guy that is more like engineering. Like, I am just an athlete, and I shoot stuff and I run. I'm more of like the pack mule. You have more weight, I have to carry it. Okay, I can do that. That is the skill I bring. Plus, on top of the shooting, I have other guys on the team that are more for the orienteering portion or the long range stuff. right? So they took care of all the information. Again, you got to have, there's like Morse code and all that. But I recommend when they send you out the email, you print this stuff out and you laminate it, because when you're out there doing the ruck, you're sweating, everything's dripping down. You're going to destroy your papers, and then you won't be able to read exactly what it says on there. Again, I think I've shot this 6 times, and it happened to me the first couple times. And then eventually you adapt, overcome, and then you figure out, hey, preparation's key. So yeah, there's that. Talk about preparation. The match, we had 10 stages this year. Time management is huge. If you don't manage the time, you're not going to shoot all the stages, and then you're not going to get those points taken off your ruck time. So you have to be real diligent on getting back in line to the stage that you want to shoot, having your mags ready. So for me and all my guys, you get the stage description, weeks before. So in preparation, I take, and if you don't have enough mags, you go buy more mags. All my little mags, and I take tape and I put the round count, because they're all downloaded stages. That way, and then I would literally set them, hey, this is stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. As soon as I get back with one, I grab that bag or that pile of mags, I put them in my stuff, and I run to the next stage. So that way we can constantly shoot all the stages, get in line. And again, it's a race. If you don't get all the stages in by a certain time, you're not allowed to shoot them. So there's no time to take lunch. We don't take lunch. And there's a lot of guys, teams that were taking lunch or a break, they didn't shoot all the stages. They didn't get all their points. And after you eat, you're like, your body's ready to just chill the rest of the day, where this is a day-long match. You have to just go and go and go until the end. And then you can, celebrate with your win and eat some food. On top of that, okay, let's talk about the clothing. Victos brand hooked us up this year with some shorts, the boonie hat, and some gloves for the match. And there are a lot of physical things that happen in the match, like carrying bricks and shit like that. So I was able to pick them out. We went with, what are these? These are the Leo vented duty glove and the American flag kind of deal. So these are actually pretty thin, so shooting with them is awesome. And it just gave you a little bit of protection while you're carrying the bricks and flipping the tire and doing pull-ups and all that stuff. So yeah, we went with that. Since we're on the subject of clothing, the first 5 miles were on the water, so you had to jump in and out of your canoe, and a lot of guys wore, like, I don't know, swimming boots, or I don't fucking know. Am I allowed to swear? I haven't swore yet. A lot of guys wore, like, hiking, swimming shoes or whatever, and then they swapped their shoes out as soon as they got on dry land, where I just wore the Johnny Combat vented boot. So I went and I jumped out of the water every chance I got, controlling the canoe. So I wore their vented boot. I've done a ton of hiking in these boots. So they're broken, they're awesome. And then a lot of guys got out of the canoe at the landing, swapped out for dry clothes. And from prior matches there, I knew that they were going to force us to get wet again. So I didn't change my boots out, because then the first year I did that, and then I had to jump back in the water, and it was like, why did I carry extra shoes? So I did the rest of the hike in these. I mean, there was like 5K. So being wet, they dried up real fast. It wasn't that big of a deal. So I was happy with that. And then I switched to the Johnny Combat MC boots. I've shot a ton of matches in these. Yeah, so.
Explain a little bit the difference between the two.
Okay. Shit. Well, one's a normal boot. Yeah. So we have the Johnny Combat vented boot, and then just the Johnny Combat MC boot. The vented boots are lighter. They're breathable, and the normal Johnny Combat, they're just normal boots, right? They're not vented. They're a little bit a little heavier, but same tread design, everything. Okay, so going on with the Victos brand stuff, they sent us these boonie hats. Were actually sweet. Both the other guys on the team were actually pretty happy with these. They're like vented. They block the sun. They make you look super cool. I actually rocked mine the whole day as like, I don't know, like a cowboy Australian dude looking guy. Yeah, the Predator. Bam. I rocked it like that, you know, for style and stuff. But yeah, we're super happy with these. It's like some kind of like Vietnam jungle pattern.
Woodland. It looks a woodland.
No, it's not woodland.
It's not, yeah.
Nope. It's a it doesn't say. Let's see. But yeah, no, it's like their Vietnam jungle pattern. I don't know. Kind of cool. And we look sweet because we're all wearing the same stuff, uniform. And then we went with the operator shorts. Again, I was in and out of the water throughout the whole hike. I never changed my shorts. I got back, they were dry by the time I got back. Not uncomfortable, super light. They do have belt loops, so putting my gun belt on, the inner Velcro layer to the outer, you know, war belt looking thing, there's awesome. Flexible, stretchy, breathable, and these are operated shorts. And I'm pretty sure like the camo pattern is like an African safari camo pattern. Something cool. Sweet.
Talk a little bit about the choice between shorts and pants. Like, did you
Okay.
regret it?
Yeah. I have gone with shorts at the 5K for the last 6 years. Reason being, yeah, you get scratched up in the ruck and going through the woods and stuff, and there's probably ticks, right? I do a nice little tick check after. But I've never had to pull anything off me. And I'm all about being light and not sweating. You know, I don't want my balls to get hot. So I prefer shorts. There's a lot of guys that never shoot in shorts. I'm always shooting shorts. If I think that there's a positional shot that I may have to go to my knees or something like that, I will put knee pads on, right? I mean, you can go back to your truck and get the gear you need to do that stage. So it's not necessary to like, I need everything with me all the time for every stage. For me, I check out the mission and I bring what I need for the mission. Yeah, so I rock shorts. If it's over 30 degrees, I'll be in shorts.
Any special consideration for underwear, undergarment, like first layer stuff, or no?
Okay, so as far as undergarment, underwear, I mean, I just wear normal underwear, but last year I shot the whole entire match without a shirt on. I did the ruck and the match, but with just body armor on, without a shirt on. This year, I was rocking the Trichon shirt for the longest time, but during the ruck, I didn't even wear a shirt. So, I mean, you just put sunblock on, right? Everybody else has their, you know, their cool little things, but I was dumping in and out of the water. The backpack had, I'll talk about the backpack, but I didn't get any strap, like, rubbing or anything. I've ran the backpack a few times. Let's talk about the backpack since we're on that mags, guns, not even getting into the cool stuff yet. So the ruck, you got to have 45 pounds. And the backpack that I use, it's still together the way I had it, is the, what the heck is this? Mystery Ranch Mule. It's designed for like hunting, where you kill the animal and then schlup them out of the woods yourself. So it's made for carrying weight. The 45 pounds that you have to have, let's pull it apart. It's got this cool little space back here where you like put mule deer heads or something in. And I took a 35 pound plate, 35, and I duct taped it and strapped it to the frame. And then that way it doesn't move. It's higher up. It's not low on my back. It's slim. A lot of times they have you carry like bricks and stuff like that on the ruck as far as extra time. So I'm always prepared to add more weight to this. And it's real fast to do that. But I had a 35-pound plate, and then the rest, because they weigh you before and after when you get back to make sure your bag is the correct weight. I actually just take water bottles, and as I needed more weight, I'd add more bottles. So I think I had like 3 bottles in there. So 3 bottles plus the 35 pounds and the pack weight, I was exactly 45 pounds. And actually, one of my teammates, Matt Kapika, had the heaviest pack coming back out of everybody that came back, and I think it was like 58 pounds. And the reason why was he took towels and put them in the bottom of his backpack to like fill space up, and then put all the heavy stuff on top, right? Well, guess what? The canoeing portion, he got his canoe in, and some stupid ass Marine team like just threw their canoe down the water and actually flipped my 2 teammates, Rick Birdsall and Matt Kapika, in the water. Their whole thing flipped over as they were getting into the landing. And so Matt's whole bag went in the water. The towels filled up with water, and like they never let it go, right? So he had 58 pounds. I think, pretty sure he started with 45 pounds, and then by the time he got back, he had 58 pounds in his pack. That being said, I would have choked the shit out of whatever Marine team did that to me. Maybe next year. But yeah, so that was my pack. The Mystery Ranch Mule. And I've ran it, same pack, for a couple years now. It's actually a solid pack. So on the long range stage, again, it's a team match. So we had a guy on with just binos, just to call our hits in the wind. And then as far as equipment, you can bring whatever you want. So again, other teams brought tripods. They brought 4 different PRS guns. They had all kinds of stuff where we tried to go super light and fast, and the only thing we needed. So we brought some binos, the bag, and that was it. We had, what was it? Each guy was able 1 shot, so we had 12 rounds with us. That was all we were allowed to take. And we took our time on each shot. It was solid. The match is pretty different in every stage. There's a couple blind stages. There's 2 long range stages, and it's team stages. Basically, everybody shoots at the same time. The long range stage is pretty cool. There was 4 different animals. You got 1 shot apiece, and it was like 300 to like 8 something. I don't remember the correct ranges, but we opt on just running 1 gun. I brought my BG Defense Type A 6.5 Creedmoor rifle. I have a Trijicon 4.5 to 30 10 mile with a Trijicon RMR on top. GSL GT Mag 6.5 Creedmoor suppressor, and yeah, so that's what I run. Let's see, the one long range stage, there was 20 points available, and we hit all but 1. So I think Coop missed, so that was our 18 points. But yeah, that stage was really cool. You had to crawl, 15 yards on the sand, I guess. A lot of people that didn't protect their gun got to the shooting position, and from crawling, I guess their guns were all jacked up and weren't cycling. I guess that happened a lot that day through the crawl, because you got to be under these ropes, right, in the sand. Yeah, mine was pretty solid. But we decided to go with 1 PRS gun rather than everybody bring their own. So we all shot individually. on the gun. I think we had, I mean, it's a long stage. So there's like, you got 7 minutes or something. So, but we tracked the time as we're shooting. As far as positional, there was a bunch of logs, and all I brought with me was this Armageddon Gator bag. I threw it. It took me a second to figure out what log to put it on, but we had a pretty solid shooting position. It was off our knees with the bag on the front. I actually took off the bipod because it was awkward on the logs. But yeah, so there's my 6.5 Creedmoor BG Defense. That ran awesome, and I was running a 140 grain Hornady American Gunner. It's actually like the cheapest stuff they make, I think, but it runs awesome out of my gun. It shoots lights out. My dope is on point. Yeah, all the other stages, as far as on the range, were, I would say, inside of 100 yards as far as shots. Actually, closer than that. So I brought my BG Defense 6.5, or sorry, I brought my BG Defense a 10.5 barreled pistol with just a Trijicon SRO on it, one MOA SRO, and it worked great. Super light. Do I wish I had some magnification in some points? Yes, I do. I think I will probably next year come with an ACOG and a dot on top. That being said, this was fine. It's really important there to get your A zone hits, because everything else doesn't count. And every time you make a hit, it takes a point or a minute off your ruck time. And the guys with the lowest ruck time win. So going fast through the shoot house doesn't matter as long as you meet the minimum time you're supposed to shoot, but also get your hits. So take your time, aim, and make sure you get your hits. I ran my, again, 10.5 BG Defense pistol, and my GSL Technologies multi-cal can. This thing has a ton of rounds through it. Still sounds good. I beat it up. Bang, goes on and off, sweet. Let's talk about the sling, because there are stages where you have to sling, go to your pistol, unsling, like throw it down, all that stuff. For me, super slick. This is a Magpul, just a normal Magpul 2-point/3 1-point sling, but I actually got this little QD mount. I don't even know who makes this, but it's not Magpul, I can tell you that. But I put it on here, and it has this little dingleberry, boop, boop, boop. Oh, does it have a thing? Let's see. Blue Force Gear. Blue Force Gear makes this little QD mount, but it has a dingleberry puller deal. And what that does, and where I'm going to show you how it's cool, is say you have a stage where at the end of the stage or in the middle of shooting, whatever, you are required to pull your rifle off you or your pistol off you and ground it or do something, right? Instead of knocking your earmuffs off and trying to get this around, right? And actually the stage I'm talking about, we actually had to wear gas masks. So here's my cheap Army surplus gas mask. Yes, I painted my own because it's sweet, right? But instead of taking it around my own gas mask and like trying to get it off and then messing everything up, all you do, boom, and I can throw my gun away or put it on the ground or keep shooting or whatever I have to do. So yeah, it's a little harder to put, like I'm not gonna sit there on the clock putting this back on, but if the requirement is to just get it off, this thing is awesome. Instead of trying to find the button and do the stuff and, right? The little, I don't even know, technically, it looks like a dingleberry to me. This actually is made by Magpul too. I like to run it halfway up the gun, closer to my optic, just for the balancing portion of it. If it's down here, I find it like flops around. It's not as tight to your body, right? And then if I have to, right, I can still swim in, shoot left-handed, If I'm completely storing my rifle, I put it behind me like this. Probably not a tactical thing, but it's more for the sport, right? So there we go. I need to touch on my gas mask that I ran. This is just a simple, cheap, probably doesn't work as a real gas mask, but it's from Army surplus. I did a sweet paint job on mine. There was like a little nozzle deal for a canteen or something. Again, I don't think this would really save me in a zombie apocalypse, but I cut that off. I used a tire seal patch kit because the biggest thing is these things fog up. They all fog up. So what I did was I sealed it to where all the oxygen out of my mouth went out the holes that it's supposed to instead of seeping into my eyes. This thing does not fog up. It's crazy. Yeah, so a little cheap $20 gas mask that I cut up and made look cool. Let's go with the pistol. What pistol did you run? I have a Rock Island. It's like their cheap version of the 2011. It works. That's all. Runs 27 round mags. Sweet. You could probably get this set up. Well, the SRO is more expensive than the gun. So, Tridcon SRO, 1 MOA dot. I like a 1 MOA dot. Actually, the SRO and the light is more expensive than the pistol. But she runs, and I actually made my own gas pedal on there. So that's angle iron. I drilled and tapped that myself until I get a sweet 2011. Actually, BG Defense is coming out with 2011, and I might be getting one of those. So next year I'll have a sweet pistol rather than this Rock Island. Can I say anything bad about it? No, it works. Whatever, dude. So that's the way she goes. And I made that Kydex holster.
So what you're saying is you should be selling products here in a little bit.
I know, right? Right. So let's talk about the war belt that I run. I don't know. Kydex, I'm pretty sure I got this on Amazon. Thing's sweet. Looks cool. That's all that matters. We have the Castech or whatever company mag holders. Again, you don't need a ton of mags on you for this match. They tell you exactly how many mags you need for each stage, and you can replenish after every stage. So, and a lot of the mags are downloaded. So, minimum, right? 2 pistol mags, a rifle mag, and my sweet dump pouch. If you wonder who made this dump pouch, because it is sweet, it is not an actual dump pouch. It was made for rock climbing, and I took out all the little crap that was in there to hold chalk, and I put it on a what is it? Tech lock. I literally put screws through there and put it on a tech lock. So I think style is huge, and no one else has those, and it's sweet. So, and it has just enough room to hold mags, right? It doesn't have to have a giant dump pouch. So that's my setup on the leg. Bingo. Yeah. What ammo did I shoot? I shot Phoenix ammo. They're 55 grain 223, and they're 115 grain 9mm. All my BG barrels are 223 Wild. So I have the option to shoot either 5.56 or 223. That being said, this is not this is range ammo. This is not hunting ammo. This is not PRS ammo, right? So let's shoot quality, right? So my gun functions correctly and I still hit the stuff, but I'm not actually killing stuff. So I don't need Botel Hollow Point. I don't need, some kind of frangible ammo, right? So bulk ammo, 223 from Phoenix Ammo is what I'm running. How was that?
That was great.
Okay, sweet. The Wolverine 5K mission brief. This is how it comes out. They have names for every stage, piston the radiator. If you didn't know, this match is based off the original Red Dawn movie. So all the stages they pull out from like the movie. This is piston the radiator. Like this one has carbine 20 minimum per shooter, no maximum. Right. This is actually, there's a PRS stage too. So I had to run up into this box and shoot these really far targets. But all this stuff, right? Shoot. You're such a goddamn jock. Oh, this was the pull-up stage. So the pull-up stage, you had to have your plates on, and you had to go all the way up and all the way down, elbows locked, and all you had to do is pull-ups, right? Minimum or maximum was 20, and then you take how many your team did and divide it by the amount of people in your team, and that's how many points you got. I did 20. I don't know if anybody else did 20 that day. Here's another stage, right? Carbine, two magazines of 8. Oh, this is, we had to do a bunch of like push-ups, pull-ups, and moving a barrel. Yeah. So this is what you get in your briefing. And you go to this, you figure out exactly, if it's a stage where, one guy may be just a PRS guy, or he's the Overwatch, or anything like that, you can kind of game plan, who's good at what. There was a stage where we were all in the back of a truck, and 2 guys had rifles, 2 guys had pistols, right? So you take your good pistol guys and put them on the pistol. The other guys, you take the rifle. So it's important to get all your hits, and it's a game, it's a plan, right? You have to, there is some like philosophy on it, right? Some gaming.
Game planning.
Yeah, game planning. So that's the coolest part about this. Quick tip with this match. It is a very physical match. Me, if you don't know who I am, I fight professionally. So being in shape is kind of like a thing I have to do all the time. So for me, it's not a whole lot different than me just always being in shape and getting ready for fights anyway. But if I were to recommend any type of pre-planning, get in shape for this kind of match, you definitely need to do some type of, not necessarily running, but rucking. You need to get a pack, get 50 pounds in that thing, make it heavier than what you have to run in the match, and get some miles in. Figure out what clothes you need that you'd like to ruck in, and I would do quite a few miles for like a month out. You want to be in the best shape, right? And then on the stages, the match is not like, the stages are they're real fast, but it's not a sprint. So I feel like long distance running, 4 or 5 miles, to me that's not that long, but if you were running a couple miles a day, you would be in a lot better shape for the match. And then make sure you're eating right, because if you go to the match, you get wasted the night before, and then you try to shoot the match the next day, you are in a world of hurt, because you're in the sun all day. You're constantly like using your brain at this match. Like you are always. They have you doing all kinds of crazy math problems, and picking locks, and throwing axes, and lifting tires, and shooting stuff from hundreds of yards away. So if you don't come in shape, you're probably going to get hurt. And then make sure you're hydrating all day long. Lots of water, lots of salt. You can do Gatorade and stuff like that. They do supply some. They did supply some Gatorades and stuff to people, but I would bring your own, and constantly, if you're not drinking or peeing, then you're probably dehydrated. So get your electrolytes in.
What's the tip for peeing when you're out there? They're always.
Oh, I pee everywhere. I just pee. So they do have porta potties. Oh, and another big giant recommendation is before you get on the ruck, you take a dump. Okay, do not go out on your ruck without pooping first, because you will have to poop in the woods.
Do you know anybody that?
I've learned by experience.